Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Too Weird Didn't Watch, the show where we make fun of movies based on nothing but their weird descriptions.
My name is Brantley.
My name is Albert. Brantley's going to read for us today, because he hasn't been slacking on getting new descriptions.
Ah.
Take it away, Brantley.
First up, we have Killer Bees.
Is this the one about the guy?
It's German.
Oh, good. I've seen a great Killer Bees movie. It's my favorite bad movie.
I love bug monsters. So, we gonna read this? Are we good?
We're good. In case I cut, just so everybody knows, there were several movies that I had seen already.
Like 3 in a row. It was an episode's worth you've already seen.
I trashed Brantley's work. I'm sorry.
Which, you know what? It's time we balance that out. So, when Carla brings her father Hans and Malakorta, I guess N is part of his name, to a clinic because he was stung by a bee, it does not look good for him. Because, maybe he's allergic. It's a bee sting.
Okay. Yeah, for a second there I thought that it was like exclusively a bee sting clinic, which I was going to take issue with. But then I realized that was not actually in the text.
You know what, the way the killer bees are going, we might eventually have those.
Is that still a problem? It seems like that was like a big 80s thing. That is an
increasing problem. It started in South America, and now it's currently moving into Florida, where we are.
Oh, good. Well, maybe
it's mostly sticking to the western area.
Yeah.
But the bees fly. I mean, they nest in trees, so maybe they'll get them that way, but...
I just want the ants to kill the bees.
You just want a war between the two.
Well, I mean, yeah.
No, here's it. We make a killer bee movie, and then we make a killer ant movie, and then we have BV ants.
BV ants. Not versus.
No.
It's got to have the V.
The V. And the logo.
I'm trying to think of what the equivalent of the Martha scene would be, and it's not coming to me right now. Very disappointed about that.
Why did you say the queen? Why did you say that title?
Do they both have queens?
Ants and bees, yes.
Yeah, so that's the one. They're like in the final climactic battle.
90% of ants and bees have them, but yeah.
And the ants are like, no, not the queen. And the bees are like,
the humans will kill the queen.
We have one of those too. Now we know your weakness. It's a very different movie. All right, so woman bringing her father into
bringing her daddy to the clinic for the bee sting. The doctors want to find just a normal bee sting. They really want to. It's like, for once.
Why does it always have to keep being these esoteric haunted bee stings?
The ghost sting. It's a dead bee that stings people from beyond the grave.
Every single time someone comes in with a bee bite, it's always the mad scientist bee. The man who turned himself into a bee and stings people. We've never had a single normal bee bite in the entire time we've been operating in this country. They've immigrated here from Indonesia.
Ah.
There weren't a lot of prospects over there for bee bites. People would just shrug it off. Like,
considering bees don't bite people, yeah, I figure that would be a problem.
Yep.
So weird biting bees. They don't even have to sting you. Just angry. So they want to find a normal bee sting, but Carla does not consider it feasible.
What?
It's not a normal bee.
We want to find a normal bee
I don't know
sting.
if there was like...
It's not possible, doctor.
I don't know if there was like a, like a prologue where she sees that it's not a normal bee. But it's like the idea that it cuts to them coming in the clinic. She's like, it's not a normal bee. Just like you had title sequence and then them in the clinic.
So... maybe there's that possibility. Or maybe the bee sting is like in a really awkward place. She's like, it's not. You may not take that article of clothing off. Those are his socks, good sir. I don't know why he's wearing them on his ears, but he's very private about it.
You're into some weird stuff, Berg. So together with the researcher Ben, she gets down to find the true culprit.
Get down to find the true culprit.
Because I'm assuming they asked her to leave, and she's like, "It's not a normal bee," and they're just like, "Just go. We got this. It's fine." It's a bee sting.
They wanted to find a normal bee sting,
right?
She's like, "Can't be done."
Like, have you seen the world we live in?
We're pretty sure it's a normal bee sting.
We live in the world of bee movies.
I think we can find it.
Literal bee movies.
And she goes to this researcher named Ben for help.
Yes. To find the true culprit. And finds oversized bees, which are also extremely aggressive. Hence the name Killer Bees. Now, it doesn't say giant, I want to point out.
Yeah, they're just like slightly larger. That's like the big spiders that you always hear about. You're looking for like the one that's a foot across, but it's never that.
I mean, it could be like the Japanese hornet, which is like 2.5 inches long.
Okay.
I mean, they're big, and they're coming at you. You're all but one animal on the planet's done. It's just one bird is immune to their stings and likes to eat them. It's hilarious to watch because it's in the field where everything else runs in a panic. And it's just like they're just biting at the air.
Munch.
Yeah, no, it's great. The new insect species is a major threat to thousands of people on the holiday island. I thought we were in Germany.
Maybe that's a lake? There seems like there's a lot that's not established in this.
Yeah, it's just...
They're on a holiday island, not named holiday island.
We're going to have to rebuild this from the things we've just got. So they're on an island for vacationers.
Yes.
And this chick, her dad gets stung by a bee. Or has a bee sting, because since she finds the giant bee, she didn't see it happen.
But she knew it wasn't a regular
Maybe
bee.
it's like a really big thing. Which again, her dad could just be allergic to bees and her not know it.
Okay.
But yeah, she brings it as
you're hypothesizing they're on vacation. Her dad gets stung by a regular bee. She is unwilling to accept that that's the possibility. He dies of anaphylactic shock, and then she goes off and finds giant bees just because she is convinced it's not regular.
She's convinced it's normal. I'm not saying it was a regular bee. It's just it doesn't say she saw him get stung. She just brings him in for the bee sting and rants that it's not normal. Maybe she found like a giant hole in the wall, or maybe it's like a backed in through the window and stung her father and left.
We're pretty sure it's a normal bee sting. It burrowed through the roof of the house, dude. I'm pretty sure it's not.
I get the cartoon image of just like a bee outline, just bam, and then stung him and then made another one going out. It can't be a normal bee. Look at that beautiful silhouette.
The silhouette, okay, I want it to be clear, is still basically bee-sized, only slightly larger.
It's slightly larger, yeah.
She measured it with her little caliper.
That's what was weird. It's like, it's bee-shaped. But bees aren't that big.
Bees are normally 2 centimeters. This one's 4.
There's a bellhop. It's just like, but it made a hole in the wall. Yeah, but it's big. But it made a hole in the wall. Clearly, this isn't normal. That's what I'm saying, lady.
We're coming up with this is some Frevo stuff right here. This is a good movie, Brantley.
It sounds fun. It sounds hilarious.
Is that the end of this?
That's the end of that one.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was very short.
We did good stuff with it though.
Don't worry, the next 2 are bigger.
Okay. What do we got next?
Next up, we have Deadly Invasion, the Killer Bee Nightmare.
Is this going to be a Killer Bee themed episode?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Chad and Karen Ingram have just moved their family from Boston to the small community of Blossom Meadow, which is a nice sounding name, actually.
Yeah, this sounds nice.
California.
They're moving to get away from all those Jaws attacks. It's my imagination saying that.
That's the wrong state.
Oh, is that not over on the East Coast?
It's on the East Coast, but it's the wrong state.
Fine. Continue.
Anyway, so they're in California, so to follow their dream of owning an orchard. Orchard.
An orchard?
No, just orchard. I just couldn't find the word.
Okay.
My brain's like, find something similar, throw it.
They moved out west to own an orchid. They're not that rare,
I mean,
guys.
it's cold in Boston.
You should have it in your house or something.
But that dream quickly turns into a horrific nightmare. Orchards are hard to take care of.
Yeah, they are.
It's like farms.
There was a drought, and
the bees are going away now, so that's a problem.
They had the wrong kind of trees.
These are all pine. How did we mess this up? I thought it was going to be pineapples. You're an idiot. Just as they and their kids are beginning to adjust to their new life, 2 teenagers from the local high school die in a car crash. That's a bummer.
It's a bummer, but it feels very unrelated.
When the cause of death is cited as multiple bee stings, Blossom Meadow becomes an idyllic town under siege. Just as soon as it's revealed to the papers, the bees are like, nope, we gotta move now.
Well, that is... I'll get to that part. But the cause of death is bee stings.
Yeah.
As in...
Maybe
they were in a car crash.
Mm-hmm.
But
presumably they were being chased by the bees,
or they had a bee in the car. I'm thinking bee in the car, and they freaked out. But no, they didn't freak out. The bee didn't sting them, causing them to crash. The bee sting killed them and then so quickly before the car was able to crash. This is unbelievable to me.
I'm getting this like Saturday Night Live skit where it's like the cause is bee sting. They died in a car crash. Yes, the bee stung them. He got freaked out and they crashed. Cause is bee sting.
That's like saying that the cause of gun deaths is metal in the ground.
Technically, it's what the guy had for breakfast that morning. It gave him the energy to be there at that point in time.
Well, normally I don't wake up.
Breakfast doesn't kill people. People with breakfast kills people.
Normally I don't wake up and think, man, if I don't eat some breakfast right now, I will be dead before I can shoot some people.
Your life is not an action movie then. Where's that Tarantino scene of them debating what breakfast is the best thing to go on before it? Anyways, realizing no one will buy the property, the Ingrams have no choice but to stay where they are. Why not?
So the house,
they want to leave.
How bad is this bee infestation? Like, they say they're under siege?
Well, it killed 2 teenagers.
Are the bees... Well, yeah, okay, in a car crash. Teenagers kill themselves in car crashes pretty frequently.
I'm assuming they killed the one and he happened to be driving.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, are the bees, like, constantly circling the town? Have they formed a sign that says...
Well, considering that they're...
Cross this line and we'll kill you?
The reason they don't leave is because no one... Like, there's a bunch of bees and it's like, we have the orchard, they're hanging out on our property, we should leave, but it's like, no one will buy it. So it's not enough that it's...
need bees!
Yeah, well, these are murderous bees.
Even, like, I get that... It's got to be a real bad problem, is what I'm saying. For them to say, oh, well, yes, we have this incredibly prosperous orchard with lots of bees.
So they've already established that they want to leave, but they can't sell the property, right? There's like, we have to stay.
Yeah.
Next sentence. But things go from bad to worse when Chad discovers that the bees colonies on their property. They didn't even know that yet. Just as soon as someone said bees, like, we gotta go.
But we can't.
Bees are bad.
Oh, man, why does our life suck so bad? We want to sell our property, we can't sell them. Probably if somebody came out here, they would find some bees. They would think we smell bad. Why does our life suck and everybody hate us?
We should have stayed in Boston. There were no bees in Boston. Which is a lie.
He comes and he's like, I found some bees. I knew it. I knew
Why
it.
have you abandoned us, O Lord? Surrounded by these dangerous bees, the family is trapped in a desperate fight to escape this deadly invasion.
So they're just in the house now with bees coming in.
Well, I would save on effects. You just gotta put like little shadows behind the shutters so it looks like,
like the swarms happening.
And you just got the buzzing happening around the house. Maybe some scraping as the bees chew their way through.
I would like to see, like, because actual real life bees do their migration thing where sometimes they'll just end up en masse, like, coated on the side of somebody's house or whatever. If you had, like, more than a couple hundred of those, if you had, like, many hundreds of thousands of bees just sort of coating a whole house, that could be cool. But the problem is when they're in that state, they're actually less dangerous than normal.
Yeah.
They don't sting people very much. But you could, say that they're weird bees that don't abide by those rules or something.
The Africanized honeybees.
Okay.
Man-made murder bees.
This family, I guess I like the overall gist. I mean, the overall gist of this is kind of boring. It's like, oh, we moved out west and now there's bees.
It could be fun, but I don't think it will be fun. Whereas the first one wound up being hilarious. This one is just like, eh.
Well, it had... I mean,
in the first one, they're stuck on an island. So at least there's that
Yeah, there's
excuse.
also a little bit more detail about the personal lives. Like, I want to know, who are these people? What kind of family are they? That makes this more fun. If it's just like, yep, they're stuck with the bees. Less so. What's our final one for
The
this
Swarm.
The Swarm.
Which is a bland title, but it promises greatness. Or terribleness. Which can be great.
It's Swarm outside right now.
Just gonna let that sit there for a second. And boo. Okay, moving on. Haughty entomologist Brad Crane. Where are you in your life that you can be haughty and an entomologist? John Grissom wasn't haughty. He was weird and creepy, but he wasn't haughty.
Why are we... Who's John Grissom?
CSI, the original series.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was in charge. He was an entomologist, but he...
And he was cool.
Yeah.
He could have afforded to be haughty.
Yeah, he was just like, bugs are cool, and I'm going to be dramatic, and now I'm going to be kind of chill. That's why he was my hero, because he was so relaxed about everything. Brad Crane, played by Michael Caine, shows up.
Oh, that's how he's haughty. Okay.
Yeah.
I know all about the bugs. All right, this is my Michael Caine impression. It's not great, obviously. It is very haughty, though.
Not even going for the British accent.
No.
Which
no,
is
but I
for the
am going
benefit of all.
heavy on the haughty. The haughty and the naughty. I was in that. I'm Michael Caine.
Not
I have a
happy
British
being in this room
accent.
right now.
That's a Paris Hilton.
I have a British accent. Listen how British I am. Tea and crumpets. So haughty entomologist Brad Crane shows up at a secret military base full of dead soldiers, shocking the Lieutenant General Slater.
He's shocking the Intendant General? Like, this guy's surrounded by dead soldiers, but he's like, excuse me, I'm a haughty entomologist. And he's like, oh my gosh! How can you do both at the same time?
Right?
These dead soldiers. That's one thing. Haughty entomologist? Completely different.
I don't know why it's shocked. Yeah, I could see more annoyed. Why is this bug guy here?
Also, I said entomologist, and I realized that's wrong, but no.
No, it's N.
It's an wait.
E-N.
Oh, no, etymologist is the
Yes.
other one. Yes, with the words.
There's an XKCD that makes one of that. It's, they're being attacked by bugs, and they call for etymology man. And he shows, like, actually, you're looking for entomology. And he sits there and describes the history of the word entomology to them while they're being attacked.
That's a good joke.
So Crane announces that the soldiers are the victims of killer bees with amazingly potent venom.
So the general is on the base.
And he's mildly puzzled by all these dead people. And then a haughty entomologist shows him and he's like, oh my god.
Wait, you're saying they were killed by killer bees? That makes it all different now. I thought it was terrorists, and I was fine with that. But killer bees?
Worse. Terrorist bees.
They're Muslim bees.
That's just racist. You gonna ban them?
Radicalized Muslim bees.
There you go. That's fine. He's been tracking huge swarms of the things and fears they'll kill millions before they're through. Maybe warn people? If you weren't so haughty, you could do that.
Yeah, he doesn't have time.
But I guess
for
the
that.
papers and news are below you.
How do you track bees? Like, what kind of signs do bees leave?
I mean, you could find where their nests were and things like that.
Right, but if they're on the
Pheromone trails?
move, like, they don't leave little bee tracks.
You could presumably, if they're going in a steady direction, following something, you can find the hives in the next hive and so on. But he's tracking multiple swarms. Maybe he's just following a bunch of dead bodies because he's not warning anyone.
I have reason to believe that these bees.
Maybe
could be
these
very
movies
dangerous.
are secretly a trilogy, and he's just been following them.
Why do you believe that? Well, they've killed a lot of people.
I've seen the bodies.
I covered it up, obviously, but they are dead now.
You covered up, yeah. Telling people's beneath me.
I'm haughty. And I'm Michael Caine.
How uppity is he about being an entomologist to this general?
Those
Like,
people
look,
didn't know.
you may lead soldiers in the battle. You may be decorated, but I study insects. Sir.
You know nothing about these magnificent creatures that I am tracking and trying to stop from killing people.
Doesn't say that. He's just tracking them.
That's fair.
They're beautiful. Is he a supervillain?
Could be. He is Michael Caine. He's been a villain several times.
He did play Ebenezer Scrooge. Eventually, the president asks Crane to lead the battle against the killer insects.
Oh, this guy's day has come?
You think he's still haughty, the president? You may lead the free world, but I study insects.
I don't recognize your authority. I'm from Britain. As you can tell by my impeccable and thick British accent.
I'm going to ask you never to use the word thick again.
Michael Caine is my name. Thickness is my game.
Brad Crane, sir. Michael Caine's the actor. The president asks Crane to lead the battle against the killer insects, and he assembles a team of crack scientists. Unfortunately, this is before Suicide Squad, so we don't get that scene.
No, we can this in our minds. We can have that scene, Brantley.
Yeah.
What do you think the scientists are? And their
well, you're
gonna
need a chemist.
All right.
You're gonna need I would say another entomologist, but
no,
he's too haughty for that.
There's no room on the squad for another entomologist.
I'm more entomologist than you'll ever need.
He does hire an etymologist.
So everybody gets it right? People kept saying, like, oh, so you tell me what words mean. No, you buffoon. You ignorant fool. Talking to the president.
The president keeps asking him, like, what is the word origin of sincere? Does it have anything to do with without wax? He's like, I know the answer to that. because it's stupid and I looked it up on online. But I'm going to hire somebody out of this pay pool that you've given me just so that I don't have to because I'm haughty.
Yeah, really, I just got the one guy, his chemist, and maybe some grad students.
There's like a physicist on there that's good for nothing. He's like, what good are you? Yes, we understand that the whole thing about bees can't fly is fake.
Probably an engineer, but that's not really a scientist to figure out how to make a delivery system.
Maybe. When was this? When do you think this came out? Was this back in the day? I mean, it's Michael Caine, so it's not super
I think
long
it
ago.
was like 80s, if I remember 80s, between the 70s and 90s.
Because there's that old fact that people like to bandy about how there was a guy who did the math, and he's like, oh, bees can't fly, guys.
Okay, that thing was an aeronautics engineer misquoting someone else while telling a joke drunk at a party. And somebody else heard that and is like, oh, so bees can't fly, but they still do. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's always that... It's always told in the weird little yuckity-yuck inspirational tone.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this engineer said bees can't fly, but bees go on flying.
And there's one commercial that's like, I can't remember what they're selling, but they mention that, and then it's on the radio, and you just hear, we're not supposed to fly, is the voice they give bees for some reason. But the reason bees can fly is because they flex their wings to make small tornadoes, like how helicopters work, and also they're so small that the air is basically very viscous to them, so they don't need as big wings to fly.
Okay.
Science for you guys.
You think that they're affected by the really hot air that's stopping those airplanes from taking off?
I think at that point they're just dying from heat exposure.
Possibly.
And from colony collapse and all the other things. Bees are disappearing, guys, and it's kind of a problem because we need those.
Was there any more to this description?
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as I find it, because I get distracted.
We got the chemist, the physicist, and the entomologist, and the etymologist.
And that is our crack team to take on the bees. Or the swarm. Even though he says there's multiple swarms earlier. So.
The hit song they played to make you feel good during that montage was the Humpty Dance for some reason.
Meanwhile, the bees overpower a family picnic. That's kind of a downgrade from wiping out a military base, guys.
It's like the Johnson family is going out for a day of fun in the sun. Let's watch.
How do you not overpower family? Is the dad packing heat and he just fired into the swarm?
It's like 3 bees and they show up and they're like, ah! And Michael Caine's like, I'm here to save the day.
Good thing I'm here, otherwise you'd be doomed.
That swarm is so thick.
In nearby Marysville, only the son, Paul, escapes with his life. That's not overpowering, that's murdering.
Yeah, also kind of a downer.
And we get haughty Michael Caine to keep us entertained.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I don't need your family.
Crane and military physician
Dominic Toretto, if that is even your real name.
Military physician Helena Anderson, who I assume is on the team. Yeah, a doctor would actually make sense on the team.
Yeah,
like actual medical doctor. Anderson head to Marysville to warn the populace about the impending danger. People have already died. This guy's really bad at his job.
Excuse me, you might experience some problem with these bees. Yeah, we know. We're the one that sent you the telegram about the bee deaths. It's like, yeah, they could totally
Reading
kill
the telegram is beneath me.
No, he read the telegram.
He had someone read it to him.
Okay, fine. But he heard the news and then went out there to tell them, guys, watch out. Killer bees. We freaking know! Do something about it!
Among the citizens in the direct path of the bees are schoolmarm Maureen Schuster.
Oh, wow.
And her competing suitors, Felix and Clarence.
Oh, wow.
Which, whole other side plot going on now, I guess. Eventually, the bees stage a massacre in Missouri. They're just bees. They're kind of smart for how small they are, but they're not staging military strategy, guys.
I want to see that scene, though. I want the, meanwhile, in the beehive, and the bees are like, all right.
I did watch a thing about bees yesterday, though, and it was, for some reason, it's like, did you know that bees can get drunk? And they get a bunch of bees drunk, and they're examining how that affects their behavior, which, what do you know? They act like they're drunk. But when they come back to the hive and they're stumbling around, the other bees grab them and throw them out until they sober up, which was hilarious to watch.
So you're saying that at the strategy meeting that I'm imagining that the bees are also kind of tipsy?
I'm saying they throw one guy out for being tipsy.
Oh,
or one lady, sorry. Because The male bees only
All right,
exist to
all right.
bang the queen.
So the girls are all gathered around for the strategy session. One's like, you know what you should do? She's like, sting him right in the butt. Like, right in the butt, guys.
How funny would that be?
How funny?
Bee.
Maurice, get out!
So they stage the massacre at Marysville and then set their sights on Houston. Again, is this in Texas the whole time?
Well,
because if not, that's a bit of a... Now we're going to Texas. We're in New York.
Were they in New York?
No, it doesn't say.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're all in Texas now.
It is very small scale, though. It's like, we're going to attack the giant city of Houston.
Well, Marysville was their practice town.
I get that, and I understand
first they did military base, wipe that out.
If they're being scientifically realistic, bees are more common, like the killer bees, especially more common further south.
Yeah.
But, do it in California or something, or somewhere where there's actually a city that we care about. Sorry to the listeners in Houston, but I'm not feeling it.
Houston.
I mean, I don't have anything against Houston. It's just not like when I'm thinking of a place to stage my, disaster movie. It's not like, and then the Sharknado hit Houston. That's not where I go.
Neither pesticides nor firebombing seems to offer a solution for the impending disaster. Is that all you got, Michael Caine? We either pesticide or firebomb. Those are your options. Well, neither worked.
How does the firebombing not work?
They go around the fire.
Oh, okay. I thought they were saying that these bees are somehow impervious to fire.
That's more awesome.
We bomb them with, at that point you are pretty screwed, humanity.
They get the fuzz, so it's like, well, now the bees are on fire and attacking us. This did not go how we wanted.
Flaming bee attack!
This movie keeps escalating beautifully, and Michael Caine's just like, this Saul thing is beneath me anyways.
I saw this coming.
If you'd only listen. You warned no one! You showed up afterwards and told people there was a problem. You're like FEMA.
Guys, I think that these bees might be impervious to flames.
He says that while people around him are getting lit on fire by the bees. They're just running around screaming. He's like, they appear to be fireproof. Why didn't any of you figure that out?
He gets on his bullhorn. He's like, guys.
I regret to inform you that the bees might be fireproof.
Well, I'm still smarter than everyone here, though. And I still have a thick British accent.
I think this was supposed to be a horror movie, but it was very comedic.
I love this. That was a great one to end on. Is that the end of this description? That's the end of that one. Well, that's the end of the episode. That'll do it for us this week. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. If you like this episode and you like us, be sure to check out our Patreon page over there at patreon.com/2weirdDidn'tWatch, all one word, and give us money. Yeah.
Shill.
Well, it's important. Yes. And tell a friend, and we'll see you guys next week with another episode of Too Weird, I Didn't Watch.
Bye, guys.
Bye.